New York, a city of dreams and nightmares, where the lights never die, the streets never quiet, and the air smells of ambition and decay all at once. The type of place where people come to get lost, and if they're lucky, they find themselves again. But for many, the city chews them up and spits them out, leaving nothing but a trail of broken promises and shattered lives. Detective Sam Carter knew that better than anyone. He'd been born in the city, raised in the grime of its streets, and, like everyone else who called it home, he'd learned to survive. With a sharp mind and an iron will, Sam had climbed his way to the top of the detective ranks, but not without cost. He didn't trust anyone, and for good reason. Sam's reputation in the department was as solid as his ability to read people's lies. He could spot a guilty look from a mile away, but when it came to his own heart, he couldn't read the signals. Not when it came to Jessica. Jessica had been a part of Sam's life years ago, back when he was still foolish enough to believe in second chances. She was beautiful, ambitious, and a reporter with a hunger for truth that matched his own. They'd met on a case, a missing person investigation that had quickly turned deadly. And in the chaos, something sparked between them, something neither could ignore. But Jessica had always been a runner. Whenever things got too real, whenever it was time to confront the mess of their feelings, she disappeared. Sam, he always let her. But the last time she walked out of his life, something broke inside him, and he vowed never to let her back in. But life has a funny way of reminding you of your weaknesses.
One rainy evening, while Sam was drowning in case files, his phone rang. The number was unrecognized, but Sam didn't need to see the name to know who it was. The voice on the other end was like a shot of whiskey, smooth but with a burn that lingered. "Sam, it's me, Jessica." His heart skipped a beat. He hadn't heard from her in years, not a single word, and here she was, calling him out of the blue. But that was Jessica for you, always showing up when you least expected her. "I need your help," she said, her voice trembling. "I'm in danger. Someone's after me." Sam felt the chill in her words, the rawness of fear that he knew too well. He tried to resist, tried to remind himself of all the reasons he shouldn't help her, but when it came to Jessica, logic didn't stand a chance. He agreed to meet her, and just like that, he was pulled back into her world, a world he'd tried so hard to leave behind.
They met in a quiet corner of the city, away from prying eyes. Jessica looked different, older, more guarded, but still the same in a way that made Sam's chest tighten. She was wearing the same look of determination, the same fire in her eyes. But this time, something was off. "I've been investigating a missing persons case," Jessica began, her voice steady but laced with tension. "They know I'm getting too close to the truth." Sam listened carefully, the detective in him alert to every detail. She was a reporter, after all. She could handle herself. But something about this case was different. Jessica wasn't just investigating. She was running for her life, and whoever was after her wasn't going to stop until she was gone. As she spoke, Sam's mind raced. The missing woman, the strange clues, the silence from the police. It all pointed to something bigger, something that reached further into the city's heart than anyone realized. Sam didn't want to get involved, but he couldn't let her go either. Not like this.
As Sam and Jessica dug deeper into the case, they began to uncover a trail of disappearances, each more twisted than the last. The missing people weren't random. They were connected, and they were all tied to someone who had managed to stay in the shadows for years. And then, just when Sam thought he had a handle on it, Jessica dropped the bombshell. "I think it's him," she whispered, her voice barely audible. "I think it's David Spencer." Sam froze. David Spencer? The name sent a chill down his spine. Spencer was a city official, a man with enough power to make things disappear without a trace. Sam had known Spencer for years. Everyone had. But Sam never would have guessed he was involved in something like this. Jessica's eyes were full of fear. "He's not just involved, Sam. I think he's the one pulling the strings." Sam had to admit, she might be right. But what could they do? Spencer had too many people in his pocket. He was untouchable.
The more they uncovered, the more dangerous the game became. Someone was always watching, always one step ahead. And as Sam and Jessica got closer to the truth, the stakes got higher. One night, they found themselves in the wrong place at the wrong time. The alley was dark, the rain falling in sheets when they were ambushed. The gunshots rang out, and Sam pushed Jessica behind him, firing back at the shadows. It was a close call. A bullet grazed Sam's shoulder, but he managed to get them both out of there. They ran through the streets, hearts pounding, adrenaline flooding their veins. They were in too deep now, and there was no way out. But Sam wasn't backing down, not when Jessica's life was on the line. He wasn't just fighting for justice anymore. He was fighting for her.
It all led to this moment, the final confrontation with David Spencer, the man who had orchestrated everything. Sam and Jessica broke into Spencer's mansion late at night, knowing that if they were caught, it would be the end for both of them. Inside, they found the truth. The missing people had been used as pawns in a twisted game of power and control. Spencer had been manipulating the city for years, using his wealth and influence to cover his tracks. But Spencer wasn't about to let them walk away. He had a gun trained on them, a smirk on his face, as if he'd already won. "Did you really think you could stop me?" Spencer sneered. "You're just pawns, like everyone else." Sam didn't hesitate. With one swift move, he disarmed Spencer, taking him down before he could react. The city's darkest secrets were out in the open, and Spencer's empire crumbled in front of their eyes.
In the aftermath, things started to change. Spencer was arrested, his crimes laid bare for all to see. The city was no longer his to control. But for Sam and Jessica, the hardest part wasn't solving the case. It was learning to trust each other again. The chemistry between them was undeniable, but there were still scars from their past. It took time, but slowly they rebuilt what they had lost. They didn't need the city's approval. They didn't need anyone's permission. And as they stood together, watching the sunset over the city that had torn them apart and brought them back together, Sam realized something. He wasn't just a detective anymore. He was a man who had fought for the truth and for the woman he loved. And Jessica, she had fought too. For redemption, for love, for herself. Together, they were unstoppable. And this time, they were ready to face whatever the city threw at them. Together. And there you have it. A detective, a lost love, and a case that would change everything. In the end, it wasn't just about the truth. It was about finding a way back to each other.